Greetings, Anonymous Andrew with you. So before we get to the show, I am going to ask a favor. If you've been listening to my show for the past 2 seasons, you know I have not asked for any donations or money for the podcast. I am keeping this show free for as long as I can. But it is the holiday season, and I have a cause that I'm going to ask for your help. A friend and colleague of mine, and someone who has contributed to this podcast, recently lost her brother. And she was taking care of her brother as a caretaker. He was terminally ill, and he has passed away. And for unforeseen reasons, she was not left in the will. And so she is facing eviction from the very home where he and she lived. So on the bottom of my podcast, if you scroll to the bottom, you will see a link to a GoFundMe page. I have donated to her cause. And I ask that in the holiday Christmas spirit, I would hate to have anybody being evicted from their home, especially in this cold winter time. So, one more time before the show, please scroll down to the bottom. It's also posted on my Facebook page, a GoFundMe page for a friend of mine who is trying to raise money so she could stay living where she took care of her brother. On to the show. Welcome to the Anonymous Andrew podcast. Life and the choices we make, the choices other people make. This podcast explores all things as they relate to dating and romantic relationships. Why we ignore or choose to ignore or miss the red flags. Red flags like gaslighting, cheating, lying, narcissistic behavior, deception, and so much more. Join me each week as we continue my journey into the modern dating world with my weekend rants, anonymous guest dating stories, and experts who share their wisdom so I can help you navigate the dating terrain. If you are new to the show or have been with me from the beginning, hold on tight for the Anonymous Andrew experience. Greetings and welcome to the Anonymous Andrew podcast. Second to the last episode of 2023. Although I will not be taking time off like some other podcasts, I will be pushing through the holidays. Why? Well, number one, today is Friday, December 22nd, and I am on vacation. Today was my last day of work of 2023. I am off all next week, the week between Christmas and New Year's. So I have 9-10 days off, and I have not taken a vacation since the Miami debacle. If you remember the story where Laura, my ex, left me in Miami, which was, I think, in 2021. Not 100% sure about that. Let's just put it this way. It's been quite some time since I have taken some time off from work. And especially this past year, combining working 8 to 5 days a week, and then coming home and doing podcasts, you might refer to that as burning the candle at both ends, burnt, like I am toast. So I am going to enjoy these next 9 or 10 days. And of course, I got plans, and my one of my sons is up from Florida. I'm going to see my grandkids. And it's, again, if you had told me a year ago that a year from now or then that I'd be in a much better place and looking forward to the holidays, even though I'm still single, that I would be really in a good place, I would have just said you're crazy. Because a year ago today, my life was upside down. All right, I was still in my depression. I was still lost in the desert, and of course, last Christmas was my first Christmas alone and without her, and it was not, in hindsight, a good Christmas. But this year, it's going to be a great Christmas, a great New Year's, and a great week off. And there is more. I have some great news for you. So, you might remember a couple of rants ago, or even last week's rant, that I was pursuing, courting, talking to a woman from the next town over. That completely fizzled out. Done. Don't know if I need to go into details, but let's just say we met, and the week after we met, I tried to reach out to her, and she made it difficult. So I took that as a sign that she was not interested in pursuing anything. I'm not going to read into that. I'm not going to, you know what? I'm only bringing it up just to give you an update, but it's not even a thought on my mind. Because several days later, I met another woman on one of my dating apps. And this one liked me. And I took a look at her profile, and it was a nice profile. And I really liked her pictures. So I matched with her. You know, the little heart. You know, when somebody likes you, you can reject them or you can like them. And I liked them. We matched. And I think that very day she reached out to me and said hello. And we have been texting ever since. And we've had 2 or 3 phone calls since then. And I think that's about 10 days ago. So within the past 10 days, I have been chatting with a new person, a new woman, and it is going extremely well. We seem to be connecting. I am attracted to her. There is a caveat that I have mentioned in this podcast numerous times, and that is she lives a little far away, but within the striking distance, meaning she's just on this side of where my cutoff would be. And then I did some thinking, and I did some looking at the mileage of course, I don't know exactly where she lives, but I know what town she lives in. And it's about the same amount of time. Let's say I was to drive out to her place or go on a date with her, which we are planning. I'll get into that in a minute. It's about the same drive or distance or time to get there as my ex was. So even if you add 5 or 10 minutes, it seems so far to be worth it. So we've been texting and talking, and here's where it gets a little complicated, and it's not a problem. It's just, it's all happening around the holidays. So I meet her a week before Christmas. We connect. We are talking on the phone. We're laughing. We're having a good time. We're sharing stories. We're connecting. there's chemistry. She's reaching out to me in the morning saying good morning. I'm talking to her throughout the day. But trying to get together, we went from texting to talking in 2 days on the telephone. And I spoke to her last night, and we're trying to figure out when we'd like to meet. And we've already established that we'd like to meet. But it's just, today's December 22nd. Christmas is 3 days away. But it's the weekend before Christmas. So I have family in from out of town. She has family in from out of town. There is last minute shopping. There is wrapping. There are parties. There are get-togethers. So for her and I to stop our personal lives just to meet up, it just didn't make sense. And she and I are both on the same page there. While we're both eager to meet, I'm being patient and she's being patient. We're just realizing it's just poor timing. So as of right now, we're going to let the next 3 or 4 days pass. Of course, we'll stay in touch, but I don't think we're going to get together until next week, which would be the week I'm on vacation. So it works out. So here's the good part. Our first date or meet and greet can be a lunch. Normally, I wouldn't be able to do that because I work 8 to 5, but I'm off next week. So I'm already thinking in my head, we'll do, I don't know, a Panera Bread, a diner, just something to, not necessarily a full meal or maybe a light meal or a brunch, just to get together and meet. And I have a feeling the meet is going to go well. Of course, I'm not. I've learned my lesson over the summer. If you remember the story of the woman that I met who thought I was handsome, and then when she met me in person, she did not like me, my physical appearance. I don't think she. Here's the problem, and I was talking to a friend of mine on the way home tonight. I have a distinctive look. Okay, I have a long hair, and 90% of the time I wear it in a ponytail, and it goes down to a little past my shoulder blades. So, you got a 63-year-old man with a ponytail. So that is, you're only going to get a percentage of women who are into that. Then you throw in the 2 tattoo sleeves. But all of this is in my profile and in my pictures. I do not hide the fact that I have long hair and I'm pretty much tattooed up. It is not a secret. So, although you would not know that from the woman during the summer. During the summer, I met a woman online, and she was head over heels over me and basically said to me in a text message, "You don't know this, but we're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend." That's how she was so into my photos. But then when she met me on the boardwalk, remember how much I want to take women on the first date to the boardwalk? Of course, it's wintertime now, so that's not what I'm going to do. But when she got to the boardwalk, she basically cornered me and said, "You're catfishing me. That the pictures that I had in my profile were not up to date." And they were. There might have been one photo that was a year and change old, but all the other ones were all this year. So anyway, that's why I'm not getting too excited. You can talk and text or FaceTime for a week or two and make a nice connection with somebody, but you don't get the full picture until you meet in person. And so while this woman and I are connecting and making a connection, we have yet to meet. Hopefully, next weekend, which will be the last weekend rant of this year, I will have a full update for you on that. I think I'm going to keep this rant short tonight or this weekend. Somebody told me recently that my last weekend rant or the one before that was a little too long, and that's fine. I if I come on here and do an update or if I have something to rant about, I got to watch my time limit. I don't expect you folks, especially during the holidays, to sit and listen to me drone on for an hour. It's just not fair. And if I'm repeating myself and yada, yada, yada. So, other than that, that's the update. I don't have anything to rant about because I am very, very happy. Again, I'm on vacation. I met a new woman. I got my family in. I got my son up from Florida. I'm going to see my grandkids and my extended family for Christmas. Christmas Day, I got booked. I got a brunch in the morning and dinner at night. It boggles my mind. Last Christmas, I basically sat at home all day, home alone, like the movie. So, okay. If you like this show, if you are just tuning in for the first time, please listen to a few episodes. Go back to episodes 1, 2, and 3 so you get a sort of an idea of what this podcast started out to be, and then I guess listen to a couple of the last episodes and you'll see where I'm at. And if you like what you hear, I would really appreciate a review, especially if you're on Apple. And I think Spotify now allows you to leave reviews on episodes. Apple, if you leave a review, it's for the entire podcast. Spotify, I think, has opened up reviews for each episode. And I have to go over and take a look and see if anybody's leaving reviews there. I haven't taken a look. Speaking of reviews, give me 1 second because I might have a new review to read to you. Actually, I may not. I do not. Normally a professional would stop recording. And yeah, I have already read you the last review. Okay, let's hope that between now and next weekend, I will have another review. If you're going to make a choice, wait, before I say that, I want to wish you, your loved ones, your friends, your family, a very happy, and I'm going to say it, politically correct or not, a Merry Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas on Monday, I wish you a Merry Christmas. If you do not celebrate Christmas or celebrate any other holiday or just in the festive spirits, happy holidays. I hope you have a very healthy and happy and safe one. And just don't drink and drive, please. And be careful because there are a lot of nuts on the road. So if you're traveling, of course, watch out for the other person. Okay, if you're going to make a choice, I urge you to stop and think. If you're going to make a choice about getting into a relationship with somebody because you've been dating them for a couple of months and now you want to commit, those first couple of months, they have been on their best behavior, and so have you. Do not commit to somebody based on their behavior. We all put our best faces on in the courtship. Are there any red flags that you are ignoring or that you missed? I beg of you, go back and listen to episode 2. All right, folks. Have a great holiday. We'll see you next week. And ciao.